Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal. And we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should have beens. That's Robert Harrison over there.
Cheers.
And I'm Kevin Williams over here.
Salute.
So, you know what?
I cheers you.
I got to open it first.
Yeah, I couldn't wait till
Okay.
It's been over for 10 minutes.
Oh, well, I need this.
You need this. I've heard. I don't know why, but you look like and sounded like you needed a beer.
Oh.
And I'm happy that I can provide that beer.
Oh, yeah.
In our beer fridge.
You know, before I tell you why I needed this beer, do you have anything to tell the listeners this week? Is there anything we need to know?
It was 59 degrees today and sunny.
Wait, is that an official weather report?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's kick it back on over to
Robert Harrison.
for our 5-day weather forecast.
Robert.
Thank you. I love that sounder. That's a great sounder. It was 59 degrees and sunny today. I got outside and for like 20 minutes, just was outside doing yard work, picking up some fallen limbs, blowing some leaves. 20 minutes. And I'm like, that was nice. Went back inside.
What'd you do the rest of the day?
Let's see. I don't.
What goes on in the world of Robert Harrison on
Today,
a Thursday?
let's say today I woke up at the crack of 7:45 for no reason. Didn't have anything to do, but still woke up at 7:45. And I was like, well, that's a bad way to start the day, is just waking up without an alarm clock.
I was
for no
dropping off children at school at that time, sir.
reason. That sucks.
And I don't mean I was taking a poop.
No,
You know,
that's
not-
dropping off the kids
That's
at the
dropping
pool.
off the kids at the pool.
Yeah, so I made breakfast and checked my email and did a couple other, administrative stuff. But it's a whopping 9 o'clock now. I'm like, okay, well, let me go make some use of myself. I vacuumed. I was like, this place is getting kind of filthy, dog hair everywhere, cleaned up. So it's now 9:45. Like, did all the dicking around I could possibly do. And like, all right, I'm going to go downstairs. And I started working on the car, which is kind of my daily routine now.
So you must be chilling a little bit lately, I guess, with the old work.
There's been
Stuff.
quite a bit of that.
Oh, there's a lot.
There have been
Okay.
days, other than today, like when we do the podcast, there have been several days I have not said a word all day. I was like a monk. It wasn't like I was trying to not talk, but I just didn't leave the house and didn't answer the phone, even though it would ring. And I would go,
Yeah.
well, there it is. It's ringing. Look at that. Yep.
I'll text.
It's just going to sit there and keep ringing because I don't want to talk to anybody right now. And it's just been quiet, really quiet and peaceful because I'm stuck inside because it's too cold to be outside.
Oh, it's so cold.
It's horrible.
I'm wearing short sleeves.
Shut
You're
up.
wearing like two shirts.
I got my flannel. Look at this.
Look at that. He's got his InObscuria
It's got
shirt
a
on.
T-shirt under my best favorite flannel shirt.
Just in case
Just
duty
in-
calls,
yeah,
you're ready to
I'm
rip
ready
that
to
thing
go.
off.
So yeah, that was my day. I worked on the car, had some wonderful lunch, but if you want to hit a certain button, you can.
Oh, I get to hit the button. Nice.
No, I didn't actually cook today, but
Yeah, it's okay.
I
It's
cooked yesterday.
It's in the realm of between the last episode and now.
Yeah, so
It works.
second sounder. We're only 5 minutes in.
That's right, Munchketeers. It's time to get your grub on with the chef that can give it to you funky style.
Roberts, Gardner Eaton. That's right now, Roberts, Gardner Eaton.
Continuing with my theme of maligned food that's looked down on, food that's just people turn their nose up at it. I made Salisbury steak.
Salisbury steak, children.
Exactly. I was thinking that cafeteria food, Salisbury steak. So, what is your recollection, your memories of Salisbury steak when you heard that at
TV
school?
dinners.
Oh,
That's
TV
what
dinners,
I think
okay.
of. Salisbury steak was something that I got only in a tinfoil wrapped tray.
Now, just last week or the week before, you said your mother didn't like food from a box.
So we got, and I thought this was awesome as a kid, but
Yeah.
we got TV dinners when they went out either dancing or bowling.
Oh, see, my parents didn't dance because they were Baptist, but and they weren't coordinated enough to bowl. But like church functions, if we were left alone or something like I had a babysitter, same
Yeah.
thing. That color TV
Now
in the
this
corner.
is pre-microwave stuff.
Oh, yeah, these are
so
the
this is
tinfoil-
TV dinners that you would put in the oven.
Yeah.
And it had the Salisbury steak,
Yeah.
usually, or meatloaf.
Little gravy.
on it. And then you had your veggie, your carb, like your mac and cheese or something.
Some funky
and,
tasting green beans.
Yeah. And then it had usually like some sort of,
Apple cobbler.
some kind of pie.
Yeah, pie or
something.
cobbler or something.
Yeah.
Because it would be in the same tray, so it had
Yeah.
to be something that, like ice cream
All
would
in,
work.
all in separate little
Yeah, that was the best thing.
compartments.
I love that.
I thought they were great.
wanted to finish reading this story today. And now you have to make dinner.
No, I don't. Tonight, we're taking a little vacation for making dinner, honey. Come on.
Tonight, she's serving Swanson frozen dinners. She knows that Swanson dinners have the extras that give her family a good meal and give her a 1-hour vacation with her family. Serve Swanson dinners soon and enjoy reading that new storybook with him.
You are a sexist pig.
Yeah, so
Hungry Man,
or whatever that was, but like high school cafeteria Salisbury steak, it got a bad name, so I used like the best cuts of beef, mixed in some turkey sausage with it, made a red wine gravy, best damn gravy I've ever made in my life. Our friend Cindy, she confirmed that was the best damn gravy I've ever made.
All right, Cindy approved,
and she's very picky. She does not eat anything unhealthy or too salty.
She loves it when you say that.
Yeah, she's very picky. She knows that. She's also in great shape because she doesn't eat all the crap that I do. But I try to, make something healthy, and this was relatively healthy and delicious. And so, I don't know, what's next on that food train where, you look down on it, you sneer at it, you're like, ew, I'm not going to eat that.
You have actually, in the past 3 weeks, you have covered catfish, which is looked down upon.
Right. Chicken nuggets,
and you also did, what was the other one? Forgetting. There was something with the chicken nuggets. You did something before the chicken nuggets. Wasn't hot dogs? Was it some kind of burger?
No. Damn it, what was it?
Well, you did a Beyond Burger. That was one.
Oh, that was the accident, though.
That was the accident. There was something. I think it was the burger, and then you did chicken nuggets. Or
maybe
something
so.
Like
You're getting as bad as me.
Yeah, you're right.
It's contagious.
Oh no, you've infected me.
Shit for brains.
Oh well. I haven't told my story yet.
Okay. So Kevin, we don't get to hear lots of your personal life because it's personal, but
let me have another sip of this beer here.
Unlike me, which blabs about everything I do.
I'm glad you're enjoying your days here.
Yeah, nice and quiet.
Yesterday happened to be Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about that because dating season doesn't start till the day after Valentine's Day. You never, ever start dating right before Valentine's Day. So I've got like a lot of plans.
I see your strategery there.
Yeah. Lots of plans coming up. So
go ahead. Right. So normal.
You've been married how long?
20 years.
Yeah. So you should have this down to a science by now.
Yeah. And that wasn't the problem. It's Valentine's Day. It's a holiday. My kids, they're super excited. They love any holiday, but especially when there's pink involved and hearts.
Oh, yes.
All the stuff that
you
girls
and the
love.
room full of, house full of women.
Yeah. So we start the day normal. They have school, but we give them their Valentines, little candies, and they have their cards and stuff ready to take to school. They still do that. Or at least the 5th grader does it. The 6th grader's too cool for that now. They do something else at school. But anyway, normal day. I get in the car, my wife's car, her car, the white car.
Yeah,
the one. You know the one I'm talking about.
It's large.
Yeah, not the biggest one.
Oh, not the biggest,
not the biggest
white car.
one.
Yeah, because
you've
nice
got one.
2 white cars. Yeah. So I have to.
Well, we
guess.
did. So 2 white cars. And anyway, I'm in my wife's, her baby, the love of her life, this Range Rover.
Besides you, it's the love of her life.
Yes. Well, we'll see. And I dropped the first child off at school, and then I'm heading into work. I am sitting. So let me just preface this first. I don't know what I did to the universe yesterday, but it just really was angry and not happy with me, and you'll see. So I'm sitting at a traffic light, stopped, minding my own business, just waiting to go, just waiting for the light to turn green. And this is you will know the intersection. This is at Marietta Street and Northside.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a horrible intersection.
It's a horrible intersection.
Yes, I've had problems there.
I didn't make it to the intersection. So just minding my own business. Next thing I know, wham! I get just creamed from behind.
And not the fun kind of cream from behind.
No.
What the hell did you just say?
Hello. No, it's not that kind of Valentine.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you?
No, this is quite the opposite. No, my car just got rocked. And I didn't take my foot off the gas or off the brake, so I didn't move forward. I did not hit the car in front of me.
Yeah, and thankfully it's a heavy vehicle.
And the first thing I think, this is horrible of me, because reflecting on it now, I should have been very concerned for what just happened to the person behind me and the other 3 people that I didn't know about at the time. But no, my first thought was, how's a motherfucker get in a car accident when he's not even driving? I'm sitting still.
Just minding my own business.
Mentioned. Yeah. And I got in an accident while I was waiting at a stoplight. And so I look behind me, and sure enough, this girl's Toyota is just, I can tell already it's totaled. Her airbag came out, and she's behind me, and she's dazed and confused.
Yeah.
Which I sort of am too.
Even if the accident wasn't that bad, when the airbag smacks you in the face.
Exactly.
It's a
young girl.
Yeah,
She's
first time she's been smacked in the face like that.
What the hell did you just say?
She's never been smacked in the face. I don't know that, but she's first time she's ever been in an accident, and so she gets out of the car, and I'm like, "Are you all right?" "Yeah, I'm all right." And then I look across the street. I see another car, and this car is on the sidewalk, almost going into the storefront of the apartment building leasing center.
I know the apartment building.
But
yes.
instead, she hit a big ass potted plant and broke that instead, and that kept her from going into the building. So she's on the sidewalk, and she's getting out of her car. She looks like she's all right. And then I see a passenger getting out in the back. It's an Uber driver. And I'm like, oh my God, well, at least everybody's okay.
They're not getting a tip.
And then I see this guy's just standing next to me. And I'm like, who are you? He's like, I'm in the Tesla that was behind you. I was like, holy shit, how many of us got hit? So apparently the Uber driver pulled out while the girl that hit me was going down to take the right lane that turns right.
Yep.
And the Uber driver pulled out right before she got to her. And so she reacted by turning really quickly to the left. And so she scraped the whole side of the Tesla and then went into the back of me.
So there's
There's four cars.
Yeah, but she damaged 2 cars.
She damaged 2.
When she should have just hit the Uber driver and just been done with it.
Yeah, but that would have been complete T-bone. So that might have been a fatal crash. So she did the right thing, but at the same time she didn't, because she must have been going pretty fast.
Yeah.
We were stopped. The Tesla and I were stopped.
And that was a mistake too. When all the traffic is stopped and you've got a clear open lane, you got to assume that's going to happen. And people do that. They're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to haul ass all the way down this lane," where one person decides, "I'm going to jump in that lane right in front of you."
So I pull my car off, because this is like right at 8:30 in the morning. This is rush hour traffic, and people are getting
There's
upset.
nowhere to pull off where you are. It's very congested 24 hours a day.
And I was just like, and I'm irritated because nobody's hurt, so I'm just irritated. So I pull my car into an abandoned parking lot that's right there, and I literally just had to rev the engine just to become dislodged from the girl that hit me.
Oh, you had to get the garden hose out and spray down.
Just like, I'm out.
That's okay. Just let your foot off the gas. I'll pull you into the parking lot with me.
And her car is just leaking every fluid that it has, and I'm like, holy shit! Her car's totaled.
Oh yeah, probably.
by hitting the Tesla and going under me. Yeah. So this is my morning.
And this is the same vehicle that last year
she backed out into her sister's same car.
Which that sucks.
It really sucks.
That's nobody to blame right there. But
really sucks.
It's been a long time in the shop.
That car, here's where the universe starts just fucking with me.
Yeah.
So that car was paid off 2 weeks ago. Paid off 2 weeks ago. Still had a lot of years on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it had just been repaired, to your point.
Right.
It looked pristine.
Looked great.
Inside's amazing.
Yeah.
The thing still drives, but they're going to total it. I can tell. With the damage done, they're going to total it.
No.
Oh, yeah. They've already
I'll
told us.
have to go see it.
No, they've already told us.
Wow, that's pretty bad then.
Bent the frame. And
that was a good smack. And
it was a big smack.
And you felt no physiological effects, did you?
Yeah, people keep asking me, like, you're going to be hurting soon. I'm like, no, I don't feel anything.
That's a good advertisement for that. We're not advertising that vehicle because they're not paying us, but it shows you why sometimes it's really nice to have a big-ass vehicle.
Yeah, and it's not that big, but it is solid. An SUV, and it's a solid piece. It's a solid piece of machinery.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, it did its job, and the brakes worked perfectly. I didn't go into the car in front of me.
Yeah.
I stopped the chain reaction.
Yeah, you weighed 3 times the amount of that car that hit you. So the car absorbed it, thankfully not you.
Yeah. So that's the start of my day. When the police show up, the guy gets out of the car. He's like,
okay, people, move along. There's nothing to see here.
License, registration.
No, he's like, yeah, my laptop's not working, so I'm going to have to do this old school and write it up on paper. I'm like, oh, God. 3 hours later.
A 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour.
City of Atlanta.
City of Atlanta. 3 hours later. He was a nice guy, but I'm like, oh, my God, man. Because these guys don't do it that way anymore. No. And it takes a long time.
In triplicate, carbon copy forms.
3 hours later, they're towing the girl that hit me.
It took 3 hours.
3 hours. I'm supposed to be
major
at work.
injuries.
I got a lot of shit going on at
Yeah.
work. Didn't make any of that, of course. And then he asked me, do you need a tow? And I'm like, I don't know, because the bumper is literally almost piercing my tire, my back tire. And so I said, I think I'm going to try to take care of it. And I did. I was able to like rip it off. I just ripped my bumper right off my car, put it in the back.
By the power of Grayskull.
He-Man.
I was like,
Throw it in the car. Yeah. Bring it on.
yeah. So my wife comes in our other white car, and I could just tell she's like on the verge of tears. I'm like, oh, she's really concerned about me. No, it's about her car.
Oh, no. I've known your wife almost as long as you, so.
So I'm like, all right, we'll take it to the specialist, the collision place that we've been to recently. And she follows me, and she says something to me after we drop the car off for them to do the collision damage update estimate. And she says, yeah, I think stuff was falling off of the car as you were driving, because I think I rolled over something. I'm like, oh, I didn't think anything about that. I go to her work with her because we have to pick up the kids now. We got one car. We got to pick up the kids.
Oh, you need to borrow one? I got some extras laying around.
Well, here's the thing. My Mustang, so my car that we've talked about, my Mustang
your fun car.
is usually sitting in my garage, has been up at my sister-in-law's apartment complex for about 3 months because she had to borrow it when she had car trouble.
That's the backup.
And she didn't have a way to get it back to us without us having to go up there and do the 2-person drive at home thing. So I just have been putting it off and haven't done it. And it's been sitting in her garage. So I knew it was fine. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the thought is we're going to go up there. We're going to pick up the kids from school, and we're going to go up there and get my Mustang. Mm-hmm. Okay. My sister-in-law said, hey, I tried to cut the engine on a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it's dead. So I already know I got to jump the car just to get it out of the garage. No problem. We can do that.
Yeah.
That's no big deal.
Dude, that's just jumper cables, man.
Yeah, exactly. So we get the kids, we start heading up there, and one of our tires is just like the warning light comes on, and it goes down to like 18 pounds of air in the tire. I'm like, oh crap.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to fill it up. We probably have a nail. I'm just going to fill it up, and then we'll probably have to fill it up again. And I felt that, sure enough, I got out. We went to a gas station, and sure enough, I saw that there was some kind of metal object in the tire. And Grace is like, that scares me. I'm going to see if we can get to a tire place as we're heading up to get the other car and jump it. So now this is the third car that has an issue in one day. The universe is just jabbing me, with little pins.
So romantic, by the way.
Yeah, this is my Valentine's. Yeah. And the kids are with us.
Just put a Barry White song over the top of this. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I fill the tire up, and by the time I get back in the car, she goes, oh, I called. There's a tire place down the street, and they said they can take us. It's like 6 p.m. I was surprised anybody answered the phone. But sure enough, I take the whole family, and I'm like, Happy Valentine's Day, and we're all sitting inside the Tire Plus
waiting room. Oh, yeah.
Waiting room.
But they have nice waiting rooms. That's a nice chain type tire place.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's not the local Smyrna place I go to that's just an old gas station. It's nasty and greasy, but it's cheap.
Yeah, so this is where we're starting our evening for Valentine's Day, and all together. We're all together. We're all safe. We're good.
We're going to Waffle House right across the street.
Well, we still got to go up north. We still got to drive, 45 minutes to get to my car. And so the guy comes out, and he's just got a big smile on his face.
This is going to cost you,
he's
sir.
Like, no, he's like, you guys just won the award for the biggest projectile I've ever seen in a tire. He pulls out, he's like, this is what was in your tire. It had gone straight in. It was a screwdriver, like the head, or not the head, but the whole shaft of a screwdriver without the handle.
So it had nothing to do with your wreck.
No.
I was thinking it was
she was telling me that she ran over some debris. No, she just ran over a screwdriver in the road.
And if you had tried to run over a screwdriver and tried to get it stuck, you'd do it 1,000,000 times and it wouldn't do it.
But the guy was like, yeah, we just saw this little metal thing. We thought it was a screw, and we started pulling it, and it just kept coming straight. So she ran over this thing like it was straight in the air when she ran over it, like a spike. So he's like, it goes in the jar. They had a jar, and they had all these different things. They're like, this is the biggest one. They put it in the jar.
Do I get a discount?
Yeah, he only charged me $20 to fix it anyway.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
So I'm like, good God, what else can happen today?
Oh, don't ever say that. Don't ever. Learn from me.
It's been a hell of a day.
Yeah.
Let's go get this car and go home. All right, so 45 minutes. We get up to where my car is parked, my Mustang. Yep, it's dead. It's completely dead. Graveyard dead. But it's no problem. We're dudes. We know how to do this.
Yeah, jumper cables.
Jumped it. No problem.
by the power of Grayskull.
Boom, right away, starts up. So she parks this thing. The garage is a bit of an incline. So as I am closing the hood of the car, bam, the door shuts. Ignition's on.
Doors are locked.
Door's locked.
Oh, no. Oh.
Guess where my spare key is?
In the car?
No.
Oh.
No, it's all the way back home. 45 minutes away. So guess what I had to do? I'm like, y'all go to Valentine's dinner and enjoy yourself. Sheila, I'm borrowing your car. 45 minutes back home. Get the spare key. 45 minutes back up.
Atlanta traffic, too.
Atlanta traffic
is rush hour traffic. And I know where you were.
Sucked.
Yeah, that's the worst of it.
It sucked. Yeah, but at least the key worked, the car opened.
Oh, that is the worst. I've had that. I've done that. I've car running
almost
wide
broke
open
the window.
In the middle of the road.
I thought about it. I'm like, I'll just break that small window in the back. Who cares?
Yeah,
I care.
I
can't do that.
It's $300.
Yeah, I can't do that.
You made the right decision. You weren't stuck on the side of the road, thankfully.
Nope.
You had another car.
So imagine this, a Mustang in a kind of closed off garage. I mean, it's open air.
Yeah.
It's not like fumes are going to kill people.
Right. But it's just running.
But it is running for an hour and a half in a garage with the lights on.
And they're not quiet. It's it's
a V8, man. That thing's going.
I know.
Hour and a half. I bet the people there was like, what the hell?
That dumbass just sitting there idling. He was checking his voicemail. What he's doing?
I didn't have to worry about anybody stealing it.
Well,
I guess they could have broken the.
Yeah, they know how to open cars.
Well, that's true.
You need a car open? Call a thief. They know how to do that.
So that was a very long-winded story to tell you that the universe was fucking with me.
Yeah,
yesterday.
they were, and they did. It did thoroughly.
3 cars.
But you got it out of the way. You have good karma the rest of the year now.
Yeah, you know what? Today's a new day.
It's a new day, and you get a beer.
Exactly. So
you get to talk for a living now.
All right. Well, after you have a struggle with the universe, go listen to Pod of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, Podkiss, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, Retro Zest Podcast, The Synaptic Empire, and Dude! Forget about Monty.
Hey, it's Monty.
Not on Valentine's Day.
No.
Monty's Rockcast.
Show him some love.
Come visit us, InObscuria.com. Like us, share us, Facebook, X, Instagram. I forgot one thing.
Oh.
The Uber driver had a passenger. I mentioned that.
Yeah.
The passenger waited all of 2 minutes before they got another Uber and just took off.
See you guys.
Didn't wait on the cops.
No.
Out of there.
For what reason? Yeah, I've never thought about that. But yeah, if you're in an accident, you just hit that button.
See you
call
later.
Up another one. That's your problem. This is why you have the job.
You get no stars.
No stars. Did not make it to the destination.
I feel bad for that lady, right? That's her job.
Yeah.
That's what she does. She drives Uber, and she didn't total the car, but it looked
She
bad.
stuck her nose where it didn't belong. That's why you don't pull out in front of people like that.
She even told the cop. She said, "I assumed there was no one coming." Oh no! You did not just say that.
Okay, I lost a lot of sympathy for her there. She's just a dumbass.
No, cited right away.
You can't do the. Let me just feel if somebody's out there.
Yeah.
Let me just stick out there and see what happens.
I watched Star Wars, and I know about the Force.
Yes.
And I don't have it.
No. No.
Well, let's get back to music, shall we?
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Not to talk about my car accident, my totaled car. Anyway, so other than this shit, I'm loving 2024 because I'm not having to deal with the possessions, the constant hauntings that I endured over the years. That's how, in the past, I got our episode themes. This year...
we say possessions, not things, but like being possessed.
Like, yes. Evil spirits
you're worried
in my
about your
body.
Possessions. You just got one of your possessions totaled. So.
Yeah, well...
But no, not your possessing.
Exactly. So this year, I have the pleasure of simply mining the catacombs of the complex mind of our very own source for all
Who's that?
Episodic material.
Captain Content!
Oh, hey, that's me.
Oh, yes, that is you. Now, I do have another clip that Miss Kristen Schimbeck sent us. of her saying it as well. And we might throw that in right here.
Captain Content.
You know it's a thing
Yeah.
when our friends and listeners are
Start
sending
copying
us...
it. You started it, man. You started this, not me.
Are
Just
sending
always
these
remember
to
that.
us.
When you get tired of it,
So those of you out there who think you can better the Captain Content theme, go ahead and send it to us.
Christmas was good, but I think there's a few people out
Well,
there.
you know, she sent two. So let me play the second one here.
Oh, by the way, this is my voice after the Mr. Big Show. How about that? Captain Content.
I didn't hear the second one.
It's all like she went to see Mr. Big apparently, and her voice is just crappy. Anyway, back to you, Captain Content. So over the past several episodes, the good captain yourself,
I've been trying.
have made references and even picked bands like Liquid Jesus, the Electric Love Hogs, and Precious Death that came about in a very unique time in history of rock and punk and metal. And that's what we're going to talk about today. That thing that came out in the late 80s and early 90s that you and I have dubbed our own genre, the Inbetweeners.
Inbetweeners.
So this is episode 218, The Inbetweeners, when 80s met 90s, part 2.
Duh. Yeah. First one was good, but the duh is so much better.
So in the late, if you don't know what we're talking about because we made it up, it is a thing, very much so. So in the late 80s, there were bands that were somewhat outside of the status quo of that time of hard rock and metal. They seemed to be playing music that was a little more complex, perhaps, or just different. It felt a little more college-y. This is before alternative.
Right.
And so you didn't know what that was. That wasn't a thing. This is before grunge. You didn't know what that was. It wasn't a thing. But you heard these bands, and it was like, they're kind of hard rock and metal, but they're kind of not. Back then, they called it college music.
Right.
Before alternative. And so they were kind of somewhere in between all of that stuff. So that's why we're calling it the Inbetweeners. And we've done this one episode before, back in episode 133. So this is kind of the stuff between hard and heavy 80s and the alternative and grunge 90s. Stuff in between. So these are bands that were cool with metalheads, and their videos were on Headbangers Ball. But they were also cool with the college rock and punk rock and goth kids, and their videos were on MTV's 120 Minutes. So they crossed over, and nobody at that time knew how to label them. They hadn't come up with the clever genre labels yet. So a lot of times they were either thrown in with what was going on as glam metal, thrash, goth, or they were simply called progressive, which again back then meant something different. It wasn't just prog rock from the 70s. It was progressive, meant was outside the norm.
Yeah.
That would then become alternative.
Ahead of its time, maybe.
Yeah. Experimental, maybe is another way. But so anyway, some of the notable in-betweener bands that we've talked about, you know, in the mainstream, there was Jane's Addiction for sure. Extreme somewhat because they were kind of hard rock, but they had those acoustic things, and then they had funk, and Faith No More for sure. Our friend Monty with Galactic Cowboys, King's X, Warrior Soul, who we've done 2 shows on, Raging Slab, who we've done a show on. We like this stuff. And even White Zombie I would consider an in-betweener because they were, when they came out, even though it was 93 when they kind of hit it big, they were still different than anything else that was out there. They didn't quite fit in. They had this goth thing, they had this metal thing, the thrash thing, and yet they were also alternative and grungy. So.
Would Jesus and Mary Chain fit in that?
You know, they
I thought they were late 80s.
They were late 80s, and they got kind of lumped in with the college scene and the goth scene, but there again, they were crossing genres. So they kind of are.
I just spent a day working in the garage listening.
See, this is why Captain Content, he brings this to us, and he lives it. You live it.
I live it. I got nothing better to do.
Exactly. So we're going to get into some more of these bands. Some of these, well, let's just see here. I think all of these I'm bringing to you. None of these are the ones you've sent to me, but I'm basing it off of the ones that you did send to me that we've played or talked about in recent weeks. You'll see how this goes. All right. The first one is an American psychedelic avant-garde progressive metal band. See?
You got me
right
right
throw
there.
all that together.
You got me
it's
right
an
there.
in-betweener. They released 2 albums before splitting up. And that's the case with most of these. They don't have a long life because they didn't know where to put them. And I was trying to remember where I heard about them and how I got this CD. And I believe there was an article or something where Mr. Warrior Soul himself, Corey Clark, was talking about playing with this band or that he liked this band or something. And I just remembered the name. Naked Sun is the name of the band.
Is it Naked or Naked?
Well, we would say Naked.
Yeah.
but yes, it's Naked Son. And
It depends on what you're doing.
If you watched Headbangers Ball or 120 Minutes back in the day, they had a video that probably got played 3 times for a song called A Song on Fire. And the video, YouTube it, you're going to want to, because it captures exactly what we mean when we say an in-betweener band. This band is playing in the back alley somewhere, Pittsburgh, I don't know where they are. And there's metal dudes, and there's punk rock kids, and then there's like goth people wearing neon and like 60s retro psychedelic clothes, all just hanging out, drinking beers and having fun.
Now, see, that's my favorite place right there.
Yeah.
That convergence of several different worlds.
Goth girls dancing around. I mean, it's just like everything that I just said is part of the In-Betweeners. It's in this video.
That's my party. Take me to it.
And the singer, he's wearing like a ringmaster's coat, and he's got these creepy baby doll heads on his shoulders.
Oh.
So it looks like he has 3 heads. It's really bizarre.
Sure, this wasn't Burning Man, because this sounds a lot like
it. It sounds
that.
a lot like it, but this was
convergence of
1990.
lots of different people.
Yeah,
No, I don't think there was.
This video came out in 1990 for this band Naked Son. Now, if they were still around, they would probably be at Burning Man, and maybe they are. I don't know. The other thing that just gives it away that they're in between the alternative age and the kind of glam metal age is the names of the members of this band. So I'm just going to lay this on you. Playing the electric and acoustic bass and cello, Zero. Just Zero.
None.
That's his name. Let's see here. Drums and percussion, T.B. Quagmire. Vocals, lead vocals, and alto sax, Max Vanderwolf.
Okay. Yeah.
It sounds Euro.
Yeah.
But they were American. Let's see here. Now, all guitars. It says all guitars.
Every single
guitar you hear. This guy, Matthias Q-Tip. He played them. And then, of course, we cannot forget on keyboards and backing vocals, Franz Liebkens.
Okay, yeah.
And these are American guys.
Pennsylvania Dutch, maybe? I don't know.
You just know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
We're about to play. You kind of already have in your head what you're going to hear. I will say this. If you try to search for the band Naked Son, be very careful.
You'll get a lot of pictures.
Well, you might get that if you do images. Yeah, don't do images. But there is a more recent Americana band called The Naked Son.
Okay.
And so it's really hard to find this band because that band's newer.
Yeah.
And they're all over the interweb versus this band who is not. So very hard to find them. I thought they were one and done. I thought they only had the one CD that I picked up a long time ago, but apparently they had another one in 1994. I've never heard it. So we're going to play from the first album because that's all I have. From their self-titled debut album from 1991, this song is called Psycho Activate.
Playing hard and working hard to play harder. That's what rockcore is all about. Every day, our thousands of men and women keep America's only export going strong. Isn't it time you did your part to help keep America a player in the world economy? Well, if you want this nation to be a player, then you've got to be a player. Whether it's rap, rock, pop, funk, or alternative, rockcore will train you to be the best at what you do. If you've got the guts, we've got the culture. Strap on a guitar, because Uncle Sam wants you to be a star.
Join the rockcore now!
Stop into your local recruiter today.
I was slipping down the drain, sinking deeper into pain, boredom beating on my brain. When a siren from within sent a signal sent to win like a psychic younger din. You can make it if you're naked. Psycho, psycho, activate. Psycho, psycho, activate. Psycho, psycho, activate. Psycho, activate. Oh, psycho, psycho, activate. Psycho, psycho, activate. Psycho, psycho, activate. Psycho, activate. Oh. half of his birth awoken nap. As I'm walking through the door, couldn't take it anymore. Whoa, but Lord, hey, can you take it? Of a bird, you better hang on every word. But to really hear the song, so you hug a beat along, then you've got to be the bird. You can make it. Activated. Psycho. 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 Psycho activate. Psycho.
What the hell did you just play? What in the hell did you just play?
Yeah,
indeed.
It was like
wow,
metal versions of Flaming Lips and Ween.
I got Geddy Lee jokingly singing, covering a Vince Neil solo song that was so bad it was never released. So he was just spoofing on that.
Maybe it was the Flaming Lips and Geddy Lee with Ugly Kid Joe back.
Yeah. Your favorite band. Sorry, my brain is still processing what I just heard. So with the intro, that was like, okay, Kevin, it's too early for, April Fool shit. Okay. What the hell? What is this? You seriously playing this? Okay, yeah. That was just the intro to that song.
Yeah, it was them having a little fun. I thought it was kind of interesting because they're talking about.
I'm like, this is 1982. This is not
right. They're making
late
fun of
80s.
Yeah, they're making fun of the.
It did sound like
the 80s
public
because they're now in the 90s, so they're making fun of the 80s.
It was cool to do that.
Yeah.
It was at 1999 is when it started going. Oh no, this is actually kind of fun.
It was kind of good stuff.
It was good times. Yeah, hangovers had all worn off.
Now, what was funny is he mentions these genres, and the last one he says is alternative, and that was recorded in 1991. So I guess that was when the term
first mention of it's like heavy metal thunder was the first time heavy metal was referred to.
So perhaps, I'm just going to throw this out there, perhaps Naked Sun are responsible for the term alternative.
Defined a generation, Kevin.
It all comes back to these guys.
You found it.
I found it.
Who else? I ask you again, who else is playing this at all, anywhere?
Probably not even the guys who were in this band.
They've heard it before. Yeah, they're like, nah, I don't want to hear that.
So this is probably a no on your playlist. This is.
That was just weird enough. I would like to hear more.
Okay. No, you should.
You have my interest, sir.
You need. Okay, so
I will subscribe to that newsletter, please.
You need to go watch
it's hard
a
to
song
find.
on fire. Just go to YouTube, put Naked Sun, a song on fire.
Yeah,
and It's glorious. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, after I've
glorious.
heard that, I have no doubt. Not the band, but I have no doubt whatsoever that that's going to be a good video.
All right. Well, let's see if I can keep this going.
Yeah, starting off strong.
Okay, so this next band, they were formed in the mid-'80s. Well, depending on which one you want to talk about. This is another one. This was really hard to find the information on this band. I've had this CD since probably 1992. Didn't know anything about the band, just read it in Rip Magazine, like, oh, cool, they look good. Cool.
Yeah, you had low standards back then.
It was all about how they looked.
Looks good, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll tell you how it looked. The cover is what got me. So it's the band all huddled together in like this little practice space. You can tell it's real tight. And they look very hair metal, got lots of long hair going on. You know, this is 1990, 1989, somewhere around there. But they're wearing like more punk rock looking stuff. And also, some of the guys are wearing like psychedelic, like that neo psychedelic late 80s thing that was going on.
Had a brief resurgence.
The resurgence of
if you're not
Paisley.
old enough to remember, the bright colors, the living color.
Yeah.
They were big on that.
But like the bell bottomish kind of like making fun of the 60s
What was
look, whatever that is.
Groove is in the heart. What was that?
Yes, it was D-Light.
D-Light, yes. They were the main ones that you would see kind of this hippie, but neon hippie look.
It's called Paisley. They had a small subgenre of Paisley. Something. Anyway,
it showed up.
One guy on this cover has on shorts and a Rip Magazine t-shirt and a leather jacket. I'm like, oh, he's cool, dude. That's absolutely cool.
That's what I wear.
And the guy next to him is wearing like a Beetlejuice striped kind of suit, like Beetlejuice from the movie. And he has dreadlocks, which was a new thing then. Weren't a lot of guys wearing dreadlocks. Faith No More, the singer, had dreadlocks before the Mike Patton guy. And he was wearing like a Rasta hat. So I'm like, okay, they're like mixing in, what are they, reggae? I don't know. And then next to the guy who was obviously the guitarist because he looked very hair metal, but he was holding a skateboard.
Can't play that very well, but
no, but I'm like, this is my band.
Yeah,
they encapsulate everything that is me at this time.
My people.
These are my people, my peeps. And so I didn't know anything other than what I just told you about them, how they looked.
That's
and how they sounded.
That was your bar. It was not that high of a bar, but a skateboard check.
So I can't just leave it at that. I got to tell you some history about this band. So I do my research. I get our team on this.
Yes.
And they
crack staff.
Yes, our crack staff doing crack. They completely, I don't know. Here's what they found.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Number one, Funhouse is a goth rock band from Sweden, formed in Kalmar in 1986 and are still active. I don't think that's who this is.
Goth rock.
No. It's like, no, give me another one.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing's right, 1986. Yeah, makes sense. Funhouse, name of this band. Funhouse began in 1987. That makes sense. And they played and worked their way up to major clubs in Philadelphia and the surrounding area. They snagged a record deal with Wolf Records in 1989 and recorded their first album, which is considered to be risque or controversial. I don't think that's them either. I don't think that's who I'm looking at here. They don't look like a Philadelphia band from that time period.
Risque.
Or this is what I think they are. Number 3, Funhouse was formed in Hollywood, California in 1986. So take that all in.
Hairband, skateboards, yeah.
But take that all in. The other two bands I just named were formed in 1986 and 1987. There were 3 Funhouses.
All back to back to back.
At the same time. That is a Funhouse. This band from Hollywood, they released their first record, Generation Generator, in 1990 on Caroline Records. Yes, that's who this is, because that's the name of the album. That's how I knew. That's how I knew.
That was your connection.
And that's as much as I got.
That's it.
That's what they did. Yep, they released an album. One and done.
Good for them.
And their sound is somewhere between, I'll let you say what you think, but I think it's somewhere between Motley Crue, the Chili Peppers, and perhaps Ugly Kid Joe.
Okay.
See what you think.
Second one in a row. There's a sound you haven't heard in a while, was it?
What is that sound?
Oh, for the youngins outside, that's when you leave a phone off the hook. And if you leave it just
What's
sitting
a
there,
hook?
yeah, it's off the hook. It's that thing you have to, the cradle, you hang it up in the cradle.
I don't understand.
Yeah, man.
I just hit off.
Exactly. But it
Sit
doesn't
in.
do that. Yeah, the old-fashioned landlines, if you left it just sitting there and walked away from it, there was nobody
Just to
on
let
that
you
line.
know.
Yeah, it would just,
Hey, hang me up.
it was really loud, too. It was like, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. It wasn't as in-betweener as some of the other bands. It was definitely more on the hair band side, except for that brief intro when it had the
It's got the little funky bits
clean.
in it. Yeah.
And then the solo, it seemed really disjointed. It was more of a Kurt Hammett solo. With
It seemed
the
like
wah
a
and everything.
one-taker to me.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
in-betweeners and a one-taker.
It just kind of came out of nowhere and just left out of nowhere.
And they just abruptly edited it.
I'm like,
cut
can
it
you
off.
bring that back. You should have had that going underneath, for a while as the song went out. So yeah, that was definitely more on the hair band side.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
But they were in that era where there was that in between. We didn't know where everything was going yet.
And they get lumped into glam metal. That's why I got it to
Yeah.
begin with. It was in it was in Rip magazine, and it probably because he was wearing a Rip magazine shirt on the cover of the.
That's
album.
how they made it. Yeah.
But it came out in 1990, and it's a very bizarre debut album because it has, I think, 4 or 5 songs, and then the remainder of the album is fake live. Like you can tell.
Type O did that.
Yeah, it was way too much loud crowd for
Yeah.
this band who were not.
They should have had 20 people in the audience.
Exactly, not touring in an arena, but it sounded like an arena show, and it had the banter like a that guy. Do you know the guy I'm talking about? He does a lot of stage banter.
Neil Diamond. He's like, hey, people.
It's not shit. What's his name? Sometimes he wears a star on his face.
Oh, that's Ace.
Ace Stanley.
Ace Stanley, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, he talks to
sounds
he's
good.
like, hey,
Yeah.
everybody. Hey. Oh, that's right, it's higher. Hey, everybody. Hey, Curly. I'm about to fall down, but that's
No, I don't think that's who I'm talking about. But anyway,
Yeah.
he was in that band. There's your Kiss connection. Ronnie James D.O.G.
He knew you were going to do that because he was outside the studio.
He could tell.
As you were building up to that, he walks right up to you and timed it perfectly.
He knew it was coming.
He knew. He's like, oh, you're getting ready to do that thing that I hate.
I'm about to bite that guy in the balls again.
Sick. Good dog. Good dog.
Anyway,
Good
yeah,
sick
so it
balls.
has stage banter and everything.
Yeah.
This is a debut album.
Well, they got their money's worth out of that cowbell, didn't they?
Yeah, let's bring it back to the cowbell. Yeah, well, everybody in 1990 was cowbelling it up.
They're like, these aren't going to be very popular next year, so we're going to just use it up this year. Was there a lot of cowbell and grunge? I don't remember.
No, I think that's
Not a
where it
lot?
stopped.
That's
I think
where it ended.
Yeah, I think
All this
Tommy Lee really brought it to the
bored out,
forefront,
yeah.
and it was used a lot.
All this
GNR used it a lot.
Out of business cowbell manufacturers in the 90s.
Yeah, it was
It was rough
slow
time.
times, rough times, slow times for the old cowbell industry.
Yeah. And Aqua.
Lots of cowbell shops folded.
They did. I mean, it was a massacre.
I remember the factory in my small town.
Yeah.
Folding and going away. They moved to China.
Yeah.
They now produce cowbells in China. Apparently, it's cheaper.
They are. Their cows are cheaper.
This is
too.
how our socioeconomic.
It's what we've come
this
to.
is how it works.
We brought it on ourselves.
Yes, but fun house. All right, let's move on. This is an interesting one because this is a band from Atlanta, Georgia, formed in 1988 by a guy named William Duvall.
Oh,
you know this name?
Yeah, I know this Bill.
Billy?
Yeah, Billy.
Billy Boy.
No,
What's wrong with you?
just Billy.
William Duvall, you may have heard of him. He now sings lead vocals and plays guitar for Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we saw him.
He's
right
that
down,
guy. You saw him.
right down the street.
Well, you saw him. I didn't.
That's
see him.
right. I keep forgetting that was me and Cindy.
That was you and
Cindy and I.
Second,
Excuse me.
a second
Cindy reference.
Cindy reference.
That's a
today.
record.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a new record. Put it on the wall. Yes, so this was his band. In 1992, they released an album, and the band is called No Walls. Have you ever heard of this band? From Atlanta. I mean, we weren't here yet.
I knew he had a history, and you may have mentioned this, but I don't remember. So technically, no, I haven't heard it.
Okay. So they only released this one self-titled album in 1992. They recorded it at Electric Lady Studios in New York under the mentorship of one Vernon Reed from Living Colour.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And according to Duvall, what he was trying to do with this, and this is exactly what an in-betweener is, this is his quote. "It was clear to me that this was how the culture needed to evolve. Rock, jazz, pop, and world music all fusing together to form one truly universal language. No Walls was the embodiment of everything I had dreamed of since I first got turned on to music. So it's exactly what he was doing. He was trying to put everything together.
It was a noble endeavor.
Yes, but unfortunately it was a one and done. However, Rolling Stone, David Frick, they actually gave somebody a positive review. What? He described one of their shows as a brilliant collision of sinewy punk attack, angular jazz maneuvers, and catchy art pop songwriting. That's a sentence right there.
Wow.
That's a sentence.
He went 2 or 3 different thesauruses for that.
Mm-hmm. I had to pause just to get the words right.
Do you know what sinewy?
It sounds great. No, I don't.
It's I believe, and I will be corrected, but it's part of the anatomy. Is a sinew, like it's a tissue, like a tendon. It's tough.
Survey said.
Tough and stringy.
A tough punk attack.
Yeah, tough and stringy.
He could have said tough and stringy.
Yeah, that's what I would. I would have said that because I'm straight to the point.
Exactly. Common man.
Yes, I am.
We are the common
men of the people.
Yes, exactly. So we get one album from No Walls. It didn't do very well, and then William would go on to do a couple of other bands before he hooked up with, obviously, Alice in Chains after Lane passed away. And I think he does a damn good job.
Oh yeah, hats off to him. That's a hard. Those are hard shoes to fill.
And
Such a unique voice.
He doesn't sound just like him. Nope. That's what I like, is that he interprets it in his own way. He sounds enough like him that he can sing the songs.
Yeah.
But he doesn't sound just like him where you think he's just a clone.
Just a fill-in.
Yeah. So I love the choice that they made in him. And this band, No Walls, he plays a lot of acoustic guitar, which is kind of interesting. And that was something else that was being done at that time, where you were starting to get more bands playing acoustics, but kind of trying to rock it out more.
Yeah, because in the 80s, bands would play acoustic for one song.
For the hit.
The third track on the album, which was the big power ballad. So that was it. It was
overproduced.
Stereotypical.
Yeah, it would be completely overproduced. But this is not. This is very bare bones, and it's interesting music. I'm going to play the song Naive from No Wall, 1992.
Damn. That was really good and weird.
It was weird, right?
I think
the whole album is weird.
The world's only feedback solo, comprised solely of feedback.
Like I said, the rest of the album is a lot of acoustic, so I'm actually wondering if that is an acoustic guitar that he just ran through an overdrive pedal, and that's how he got all that crazy feedback.
Stood right in front of the amp.
Yeah,
or the speaker at least. And then the Maynard was playing bass on that, wasn't he?
What the hell did you just say?
Maynard?
Sounded very much Becky and her Big Brown Beaver.
What the hell did you just say?
Type bass playing on that.
Maynard.
Not Maynard. Shit. I said Maynard. I'm thinking Tool. Damn it.
Not Tool. Maynard's a singer.
I know.
I'm thinking Les Claypool.
Yeah,
perhaps?
Les Claypool. No, I just today I saw a Tool
Inbetweener band.
Yeah, but I saw a Tool video or concert footage from way back in the day, and so I've been thinking about that and meaning to mention that on this episode. Now that it came out at the completely wrong time. Sorry.
Do you want to rewind and do that again?
Just edit that whole damn thing out. Claypool, yeah. So anyway, it just sounded a lot of different great things mixed together. And he, on his upper register, he was channeling Chris Cornell through there, which is weird because, he's taking the place of a very famous grunge singer. And then this one has a little Cornell sounding to it.
Yeah. And this is, again, they were an Atlanta-based band.
Yeah.
So interesting. I wasn't here yet. I didn't move to Atlanta until 96.
Which this was 93?
92.
92. No, I wasn't here yet.
Very interesting stuff. I can see how it didn't go any further because nobody would know what to do with that.
No, what the hell? Yeah, you walked in some record exec going, listen to this.
This is back in the day when you still needed a record company to do anything. So they wouldn't know what to do with that. So we're going to go all the way from Atlanta up the interstate, about 4.5 hours, and we're going to have an alternative metal grunge band from Charlotte, North Carolina next. They were active from 1987 until 1998, and they're called Animal Bag.
Bag?
Animal Bag.
Not sack.
Nope. Animal Bag.
Okay.
Now, they've been compared to the Chili Peppers and Faith No More.
I mean, if you're in that 89 to 92 range, there's about 3 bands you're going to get compared to because that's what was hitting.
Yeah. They're
besides the, Nirvana, but in that earlier range, yeah.
Right. And if you're not grunge or what's going to be grunge, then you're going to be compared to, I would assume, Jane's Addiction as well at that time, because that was the other band that everybody knew they were kind of off and weird.
Yeah.
Faith No More was the other one. They had a big hit, but they were still weird for that time. Didn't quite fit anything. And so that's where this band gets placed as well. That's why they're an in-betweener. They did get signed to Mercury Records in 1992, and the first single off of that album is called Everybody. And it peaked at number 29 on the Billboard rock chart. I don't remember that. And then it was a minor success in Japan. I don't remember that either because I didn't live in Japan.
You weren't in Japan at the time.
But it was pretty big in Japan for about 8 weeks.
You would have been big in Japan.
I would have been, I'd been tall at least.
6'1".
Yeah. So this is another album like No Walls where half of this album is pretty rockin' electric guitar and then half of it's acoustic. But it's like that. It's that newer kind of, we're playing acoustic, but we're kind of doing a heavy version of acoustic. So it's pretty cool. Their second release was all acoustic, and it didn't sell well at all, even though that was kind of the time when that was becoming a thing.
Days of the New was 90.
That was later.
4, 95, 6.
No, that was probably.
Later? I'm losing track.
Days of the New was probably.
Because that turned into Tantric.
96, 97.
Okay, much later than I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the grand scheme of things, not that much later, but to this, yes, that hadn't happened yet. So the record company says, no, you need to get heavier for your next release or else you're out of here. And sure enough, before they could finish that release, the entire label, everybody they knew got shit canned.
Just cleaned house.
And so guess what happened to that album that they were going to put out in 1995?
Is there a shelf with its name on it?
There's a shelf with that.
Those are magic
that
shelves.
That album's still sitting there.
All these shelves.
Here we go. We come upon this quite a bit. Yeah. I
wonder if it's an actual shelf or is it in a box?
It's just one shelf.
Just one long shelf. It's a big shelf.
Hopefully it wasn't in that fire that they had a couple of years ago.
Ooh. Apparently there were a lot of things in that fire. I've heard some stories of the bands that lost some originals.
That was Universal, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to back up on that because I've already been wrong a couple of times tonight.
Yeah, somebody faxed.
Somebody faxes the answer. Did you say somebody faxes the answer?
Yeah, faxes. I meant to say fact check, but it came out fax, so I just went with it.
Faxes. Yeah, just faxes.
Just faxes.
Hey, right over there in the corner.
Hold on, my pager's going off. All right, so we're going to play, obviously, not from
Speaking
the
of
third
the 90s.
release. We're going to play from the first album that was on Mercury Records, a Charlotte, North Carolina band, which is kind of near where I grew up, so pretty cool. I remember hearing about this band, but I didn't know them back then. I only stumbled upon them in more recent years, but here's a song called Missing Out.
Redwood hurt, great, yes, we'll all be dead. But you know we won't be missing out on anything. Redwood hurt, great, yes, we'll all be dead. But we won't be sad because our friends will all be dead, and you know we won't be missing out on anything, and that's what we're afraid of. Missing out, 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 afraid of. Missing Redwood hurt, great, yes, when we're all gone. We won't have to fear being left alone, because the world of strangers wouldn't miss us anyway, and that's what we're afraid of. Missing out, afraid of. Missing out, afraid of. Missing out, afraid of. Missing Redwood hurt, great, yes, we'll all be dead.
Of all the bands we've played so far, that is definitely the closest I would think to a record exec going, oh, maybe we might find a place for that. Maybe not that particular song,
Right.
but with some edits or a different song on the album that was more radio friendly, that was probably the closest I could think of. It had a lot of the Jane's Addiction, a little bit of the hairband type vocals mixed in with it. So it fits all those definitions of the in-betweener.
It was everything that was going on at that time.
Everything, a little snippet of everything.
Still somewhat marketable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the
Still
others
somewhat
were pretty
mainstream.
wacky and out there, but this one was close.
Absolutely. I'm going to stretch it a bit with the next two.
Okay.
Just stretch just a little bit into the in-betweener. I'm pushing the boundaries here. So next band, our friend and listener, Jason Kearney, turned me on to this a few years ago, and he sent it to me after our very first funk rock episode because we played a song by Badlands, Jake E. Lee's band.
Oh, yeah.
And he was wondering if I had ever heard of Red Sea. And I was like, no, I've never heard of Red Sea. And he said, well, they're similar to Badlands, came out after Badlands in the 90s, and they featured Greg Chason on bass, who was the bass player from Badlands on the second album, and the drumming of Jeff Martin, who also played. He replaced Eric Singer because, you know who Eric Singer is?
He didn't.
He replaced him in
ill.
Badlands. He went on, he played with Alice Cooper and
Allison,
and then he played with some other band.
Some of the girl band, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe. And then he played with some band that he had to like dress up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Ronnie James D.O.G., where'd you go? You know what I'm talking about? There's your second kiss connection.
Those of you that are not in the room, that's not editing. That's because he used to do that. He used to edit his bark into certain situations. That's him. He's now been trained. Thanks, man. You've trained my dog to bark at you.
Yeah, so it's got the drummer and the bass player from Badlands in this band, Red Sea. And what I didn't know is, and I should have, because Jason listened to a lot of Christian rock, and he turns me on to a lot of cool Christian rock out there. This is a Christian rock band. There you go. Amen. Can I get an amen? So they're technically a Christian rock band. They were on the bluesier side, just like Badlands, but I would still consider them in-betweeners because they're mixing all the stuff that kind of came out of the 80s, and they're taking a little bit what's going on in the 90s, and then they're doing this twist on this kind of blues
mix of heaven and hell?
Yeah, there you go.
I like that.
Might be stretching it a bit here, but I would almost put Badlands in in-betweeners category.
But we won't know until we hear it, and that's what we're about.
All right. Well, from their album from 1994, so they're right there. They're almost pushing the boundaries of the time period. But this is from the album Blood. This is the song Blood.
All right, so if we take it just on its own and not when it was released, it's not bad. It's got kind of a Coverdale vibe where, rock me till I'm bad to the bone, that song.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has the Guns N' Roses breakdown, like we heard at the very end of the song. And, good guitar lead. But it's just that when it was released, I'm sure they were very happy with it, very proud of it, and took it to their record exec. And it's kind of like when I missed my connecting flight from Vegas to Reno because I was goofing off in Vegas, not paying attention. The lady at the counter looks at me and goes, yeah, sir, your flight just left and there's no more seats for the next week. You're screwed.
It left 2 years ago.
Yeah,
sorry.
that's why I picture the exec going, yeah, this isn't bad, but where were you 2 years ago?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Damn good band.
Damn good band. Yeah, like I said, if you just look at it on its own and take it out of that time period and just put it whenever, just listen to it.
I'm stretching it a bit, but I still think it fits in my head.
Well, Guns N' Roses were kind of an in-betweener themselves. They started as a hair band and just carved their own kind of niche, just like Metallica
Made their own sound.
Yeah, they had their own.
And then if you think about 92, when all this, or 91, I guess, is when all this stuff is starting to really bubble up, the change. Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 come out.
Yeah, and that was kind of its own thing.
And it's like nobody else sounded like that.
Operatic and,
it was bloated.
Movements.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Just like Axl. But
just like Axl is now. But I don't know.
Bless his heart.
So I got another one that's sort of on that tip here just a little bit, but I still think it fits. And this was something, we'll get your opinion here. We'll see. So one of the weird things about the late 80s, early 90s was that the term, to my remembering, the term jam band didn't really yet exist as a thing. The whole hippie thing was still tied to the original 60s bands that were still around and touring, like the Dead, like the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
But
and I didn't think of the Allman Brothers as a hippie band.
We didn't think of them. Yeah, I mean, the Dead you did.
Dead, absolutely.
But the Allman Brothers were just a rock band, a 70s rock band, a classic rock band.
Well, because all I ever heard was their radio hits, which were not as jammy.
But people they weren't saying, oh, that's a jam band. Yeah. Like that wasn't a thing.
I knew a Deadhead. I knew one.
Deadhead was
one Deadhead, and that was it.
So I attended in 1992. I was dating this girl the summer of 92, and she was really into the band Spin Doctors. And they had just come out with their first album. And that wasn't categorized as anything.
No, I never think of them as a jam band,
but she said, hey, there's this festival coming. It's called the Horde Fest. I'm like, let's go. And so in 92, we went to see Blues Traveler, Fish, Widespread Panic, Spin Doctors, and I think it was Colonel Bruce Hampton and Aquarium Rescue Unit. And it was all a new thing. Like all of those bands that I just named only had 1 or 2 albums out at that time. And Horde Fest was called the Horde because it stood for Horizons of Rock Developing Everywhere. And the whole reason they started that, it was the guys in Blues Traveler that started it, was these were all bands that were playing the club scene on the East Coast, and they wanted to play bigger stages. So they combined their efforts and they went and toured and did these shed tours where they were playing, outside amphitheaters. And they hadn't been labeled yet as jam bands. So with their first couple of albums, none of these bands really had 15-minute jams on them. They did that live, but they didn't have it on their albums. And so we all just thought of them as this is like Pearl Jam, like Soundgarden, all this stuff happening in Seattle. This is another thing happening on the East Coast. But it wasn't, it was alternative was bubbling up as a term, but you didn't know where to put these bands. And later they would get labeled as jam bands. And the band I'm going to play is another band that fits into this category. And this was a band called The Hatters. And my college roommate, Joey Hall, would play this album all the time in 1994. So these other bands had been out for a while. This was a band that kind of fit into it. And sure enough, they would eventually go play the Horde Festival one year in the 90s. Now, if you're looking up The Hatters on the old Google, this is not the Russian gypsy folk rock band that formed in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Just letting you know, different band.
That's a different episode coming up.
Yeah, this is a band from Philadelphia that formed in 1988. They released 3 albums on Atlantic Records. They were blues-influenced rock with some high-energy funk and a little bit of folk, and they could get heavier when they wanted, and they get moody and introspective when they wanted, and they were later labeled jam band. But I don't think they were on their first album, which came out in 1994. The name of the album is The Madcap Adventures of the Avocado Overlord. This is the song, Sacrifice.
Won't you crawl across my cellophane floor? I got a hook at high noon and another 5-tune, better than the one before you. Oh, I like to crawl to the corners of the world, girl, just to chase around my hometown jewel. Oh, I roll to Tahiti with a barrel and a genie, but I'm sick and tired of playing your fool. And I won't make that sacrifice for you, baby. I won't make that sacrifice for you, baby. I won't make that sacrifice for you, baby. I won't make that sacrifice. Takes two tall tales with a while it holds well. Won't you stop and drink a barrel of cream? Your fancy friend looks fine. I like to drink his wine. He doesn't hold a candle to me, Lord, and I won't make that sacrifice for you, baby. I won't make that sacrifice for you, baby. I won't make that sacrifice for you, baby. I won't make that sacrifice.
All right, that puts it firmly in the territory of Big Head Todd and the Monsters and Grantley Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I
Other
believe they
good
were
ones.
maybe a couple of years later. They were mid-90s.
Yeah, they both
And this
were.
is 92,
This is
93.
94.
Oh, okay. But this
is getting
a
there.
little more bluesy based, but still, I love, and that's one of my favorite things. That was really when music was really kicking in with me, and that was 95, just moved to Atlanta, and within a year of that, I would be writing my first song.
Right.
So it was all about music at that point. I was diving into it even before I knew you. I was buying CDs, going deep with those deep cuts on those CDs.
See there?
Yeah.
See there? It was destiny.
It was destiny. It's about 3 years before I met you. But yeah, okay, now I got to go back. That's tomorrow. While I'm doing nothing is listen to that.
People, it's our genre, so we can put whoever we want in it, really.
We did kind of create that
we
out
created
of thin
this.
air.
So I consider them an in-betweener because, like I said, this was right at the turning point where all of a sudden this kind of thing, we're going to call that a jam band.
And I didn't
and
hear...
you can only tour with other jam band.
Right.
Dare you
there
mix.
was no mixing.
Dare you mix
There
with
became a
anyone
whole
else.
culture.
It
I mean,
became a thing.
you had the Grateful Dead or the Deadheads, but then the
Right.
jam bands, first one I remember was Widespread Panic.
Widespread
they
Panic.
were kind of local.
And when I saw, from Athens, Georgia, and when I saw them on the Horde tour in 1992, I saw them in Charlotte, North Carolina, because I was still living in South Carolina, and Charlotte was right there next to where I was going to summer school at Winthrop, and I'd never heard of any of those bands. Fish were new to me.
Yeah.
The only one I
Fish
knew
is
was
another one.
the only one I knew was Paul Johnson. Our friend Paul Johnson had let me hear Blues Traveler's first album, and I thought it was really cool. I still think that band is really cool.
Well, your other roommate was into jam bands, Larry.
Well, I didn't know him yet.
Well, I'm just saying, eventually you had a history of having roommates that were into jam. Bro,
but
it's Fish, man. It's great. bro.
Yeah. So anyway, when they play, I didn't know how to categorize them. I just thought they were just cool new rock bands, and they were doing something different to me because I wasn't exposed to that. But then it was not 3-4 years, and it became like a thing where only those bands would play with those bands, and to this day they're still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that way to begin with.
Nope.
All right, I'm going to end with one that is firmly. This is if you look up our definition of in-betweener,
firm.
This is it. And this is cool because this band became another band. They realized that they were an in-betweener, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to have to change.
We got to fire the drummer.
We got to if we're going to become a thing." We have to not be an in-betweener, and we have to just go straight to alternative.
Yeah.
And we'll make a fortune.
More flannel.
And they did. So this is a band formed in Detroit, Michigan in 1989. They released one full-length album in 1991 and disbanded in 92. They were featured on the 1991 soundtrack for the film Point Break, which starred Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves.
And Anthony Kiedis was in that, wasn't he?
I believe he was. Yeah, I think you're right.
Check out the big brain on Brad. You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
I think I got it wrong, though. Steve? Look at the brains on Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
So this band toured with Bad Brains, the Ramones, and Monster Magnet in the 1 year that they were around. That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And wait till I tell you who this band is. So in 92, Virgin Records dropped the band because their album was a commercial failure. And the members, that's when they said, all right, we got to change something here. So they got rid of the singer, and the drummer, whose name is Vinny Dombrowski, he switched from drums to vocals, and then they renamed the band Sponge.
Oh.
But the name of this band is Loud House. They released one album as Loud House.
I love Sponge.
Yeah, Sponge is killer. And they were, do you know who they toured with?
Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't. I'm sorry, they didn't tour with them.
They played the stage.
They played the same stage because I know we almost got crushed. Yeah, that was when I discovered it sucks being in the front row.
Yeah. Music Midtown.
100,000 people behind you. Yeah. It was rough.
They toured at one point with.
So wait a minute, just to set the stage here, the dog he's asleep. He's asleep across the room in his beanbag. And Kevin's going to.
I have to tell the people who they toured with.
It's your job.
They toured with.
Oh no.
That one fell
He
flat.
did it twice, and
Your
then this
Kiss
time he
Connection.
just looked at you and went, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, he really is not moved.
He opened his eyes and just went, God, you idiot. Went back to sleep. So twice.
Yes.
Twice is his record. We'll see if
Okay.
we can break
That's
that
all
record.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is basically Sponge when Vinny was the drummer and didn't sing.
I
and they
had
a
no
different
idea.
singer.
Yeah, I didn't know the history behind it.
So we're going to hear some Loud House, and this is a song
Pre-Sponge.
From their album, their only album, For Crying Out Loud. No, that's the name of the album. And the song is Faith Farm.
As the mutant realists caged on their barbed wire picket fences lay screaming while the beautiful financiers waiting on the next elevator for upward mobility. They're all easily attracted to one another by the similarities of their facial mass. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome for your listening pleasure, Mr. Abby Hoffman. But the greedy Republicans, they loved Ron singing. The Christians, meanwhile, they all looked on. soapbox, yeah, high on the hog, singing taboo words, they're hidden in my songs. When the rabbit howls, the troops come to me. Please, Daddy, please. Stevens runs the byway, they're breathing in the trash. They got suicidal made on me, he's got a monkey on his back. Mr. Everyman, never forget, shoot shot his words. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I need you, like a hole in my head. Dancing hearts, chasing big black heads. Butterflies on speed, changing into rats.
By far my favorite song of the night. Love
Nice.
that. I don't know if it's because it's a great song or if it sounds exactly like Jane's Addiction.
It does sound exactly like Jane's Addiction.
I mean, Perry Farrell, the guitar, everything's spot on, but I'm not going to...
That was not Dave Navarro.
Yeah, Dave Navarro. I'm not going to, pass judgment just yet. I'm going to have to listen to a couple more songs, but still, just knowing it was one and done, I can go, that's fine. I like it anyway. So yeah, that was good. And I like Sponge after that. So it's two great bands out of one.
The guitars are ripping.
Thunder Mother and whatever else.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the guitars are ripping.
Yeah,
I don't
it
recall Sponge having quite the ripping leads like that. They did have good guitar, but I don't remember
Not
that.
leads, just a couple of riffs. It wasn't like heavy on the lead stuff like that.
I think they definitely paid attention to what was going on at the time, and they changed for that. Dude can play.
Yeah. But as far as that was, you said that was 89?
That was 91.
Oh, 91. Okay. God, I don't understand why that didn't click better.
Jane's hadn't even had their major mainstream success yet.
Yeah.
That came in 92 or 3, right?
What's wrong with you?
No.
92. Because God, I have to go back and look at the calendar. I don't remember.
Porno for Pyros was in 93. So,
Yeah,
Jane's
'cause I was
Addiction,
in
I guess it
Daytona.
was the same year.
Yeah, it's
91
about
was
the
the
same
same
time.
time.
1990.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Lucky break. But still, except for the singer, they got the boot. Everybody else still got a second chance.
Yeah, they got another drummer, and then
Yeah.
Vinny went and said, "I'll sing," and you got Sponge.
Good story. I never knew that. I like Sponge, and now I go listen to that full. Is that widely available, Loud House?
I mean, widely available in the sense that
On
you
the
can
internet?
find it on the interweb somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know I'll buy shit like that.
I don't know about the Spotify's of the world. I don't listen to that stuff.
Oh my God. You just looked down on me so hard right there. I felt that.
Horrible.
I felt your derision. Just
Paying
now.
Loud House percentages of pennies for your listen.
It's better than not paying them. Take what you get and love it.
All right. So that's what Captain Content gave to us this week.
I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got some homework for you, by the way.
Uh-oh.
So I got a text message yesterday from a nice lady.
A nice lady.
That you and I know.
Oh.
I'll just say the first name, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
You know that Michelle?
I know a Michelle.
As in Jim and Michelle?
I know that one. Yes.
Yeah, that one. So it's a very dear friend of ours from years ago. They moved to Pittsburgh 8 or 9 years ago. Miss them dearly. Text me out of nowhere. I haven't talked to her in a year or two. Said, hey, I was on a flight today and passed the time. I pulled up Netflix. was watching a movie, just came out. Was that your living room? I'm like, oh God.
Oh,
yes,
it's out.
It's out. So this is one of 2 movies. I don't think I ever said the title.
No,
I just
you
said
didn't.
2 movies have been shot at my house so far. Both times got paid well, but it was a massive pain in the ass.
And you haven't done it since.
And I haven't done it since. Good pay, big pain in the ass.
Now, is this the one with the video games and all that?
This is the first one. So I have not seen it because I do not have a TV. So your homework is to watch this movie.
You don't need a TV to watch Netflix. You can watch it on your phone.
I'm not watching a damn movie on my phone.
Well, I'm just saying you could.
My eyesight.
You could watch it on your laptop.
Yeah. But anyway,
All right, so it's on Netflix, and it's called?
It is called The Re-Education of Molly Singer. If that's not a porn name, I've never heard a better porn name than that. But it's not a porn. It's rated R, so it's more. I don't think it's Skinamax even. Once again, I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the previews, and there's a scene later in the movie where it's a party. That's my living room.
Is this the one where they also shot in your Winnebago?
My camper?
The guy was like living in the camper or whatever.
And see, I don't know if that's still in the movie. So they shot in my former camper. They shot in the main room, which is what you see in the party. I think one of the clips, it was just a half a second of somebody walking in on a couple having sex. Mm-hmm. I think that was one of my upstairs bedrooms.
Now, was that you?
No, I wasn't a stunt double for that.
Right.
Now, I did do pyro.
Stunt dick.
Yeah, so if there's a scene where sparks are shooting out of the garage, that's me making the sparks, but they may have cut that. So I have no idea if that's still in the movie. The second one was more of a drama, and it was really bad, so it'll go straight to Netflix also.
That was the one that was like where the lady was screaming.
That was more a Skinamax. Yeah, she got beat up, and I was down here. Ronnie James Dio and I were just hanging out in the studio, and they were filming upstairs. All of a sudden, blood curdling screams, and they didn't warn me or anything. So of course, my dog starts barking, and they had to cut.
He thought it was me saying, so here he comes.
That was. He's tired. He kind of walked over this
dude.
Time.
Come on, man.
You made me get up. That beanbag was warm, man.
What?
Yeah, he didn't bark this time. So yeah, just go out. Everybody watch this movie, knowing that I have not seen it. Give us a review of how bad it is, because I've heard it's bad, and it wouldn't have gone straight to Netflix if it was good. So yeah, go watch The Re-Education of Molly Singer, and then let me know how bad it is.
All right, you got your homework.
Go forth.
We'll see you next time.
See you
later.